What happens when a narcissist is confronted with criticism? Does it shatter their grandiose self-image? Well, let's delve into the mind of a narcissist to find out. Narcissists have an arsenal of defense mechanisms at their disposal, and one of the most prominent is denial. When faced with criticism, they simply refuse to acknowledge it. This is not because they don't understand the critique, but rather because they are protecting their inflated self-perception. They have built a fortress of self-importance, and any criticism is seen as an attack on this fortress. This denial can lead to a state of cognitive dissonance, a psychological conflict resulting from holding two or more incompatible beliefs simultaneously. In the case of a narcissist, the conflict is between their self-idealization and the reality presented by the criticism. This cognitive dissonance can cause significant distress, but in the narcissist's world, they resolve it in a simple way. In the narcissist's world, criticism simply does not exist. Imagine criticism being twisted and turned back on you. What happens when the critic becomes the criticized? This is a situation many find themselves in when dealing with narcissists. It's a manipulative tactic known as gaslighting. Gaslighting is a psychological game where the narcissist subtly makes their critic question their own perception, memory, or even sanity. The critic's judgment is clouded, causing them to second-guess their own instincts and observations. The narcissist might make statements like, "You're misremembering things," or "You're overreacting," effectively shifting the focus from their behavior to the critic's reactions. In this elaborate dance, the narcissist dodges the criticism, and the critic becomes the one under scrutiny. The tables are turned, the critic is left doubting their own reality, and the narcissist walks away unscathed. This is how criticism is weaponized, how it becomes a tool for manipulation. In the hands of a narcissist, criticism becomes a weapon wielded against the critic. What if criticism doesn't just fall on deaf ears, but triggers an aggressive response instead? This is often the reality when dealing with narcissists, whose inflated self-image doesn't allow room for critique. Their need to maintain superiority and control often leads to counterattacks aimed at belittling the critic. Imagine this: you express a valid concern, only to have it turned into a character assassination against you. The narcissist employs tactics like blame shifting, character defamation, and even intimidation to deflect the criticism and maintain their illusion of perfection. The narcissist's aggression can be overt, like shouting and name-calling, or covert, like passive-aggressive comments and veiled threats. This aggression isn't about resolving issues or personal growth. Instead, it's about maintaining power and control, about defending their fragile ego against perceived slights. Criticism, for a narcissist, is an attack to be retaliated against, not a cue for self-improvement. Ever received an apology that felt hollow and insincere? That's a narcissist's response to criticism. Let's dive into the concept of empty apologies, a classic move in the narcissist's playbook. Imagine a scenario where a narcissist is confronted with criticism. What happens next? Well, they might apologize, but it's not the heartfelt, genuine apology you might expect. Instead, it's a superficial display, a performance designed to deflect and dismiss. The criticism is swept under the rug, the issue glossed over, and no real change is enacted. This is because, for a narcissist, the act of apologizing is not about showing empathy or understanding. It's about maintaining their self-image, about keeping their world intact. They don't truly engage with the feedback, they don't reflect on it. It's a band-aid, a quick fix. The narcissist's apology is but a superficial band-aid, a quick fix to a much deeper issue. What if the narcissist flips the script and accuses you of their own faults? Welcome to the world of projection. This is a classic tactic in the narcissist's playbook, a sly maneuver to shift the spotlight away from their own shortcomings. By accusing others of the very faults they possess, they cleverly deflect criticism and avoid taking personal responsibility. This projection isn't just about escaping blame, it's also a way for them to preserve their inflated self-image. They need to believe they are perfect, and any suggestion to the contrary is met with immediate denial. So, they project their flaws onto others, fueling their own denial and further distancing themselves from any form of self-awareness or growth. Remember, in the narcissist's reality, they are never at fault. The blame always lies elsewhere. It's a paradoxical world where they are the perpetual victim, and others are always the culprits.